everyone, this is me Aastha again, and I'm up with my new video. So last week I felt quite anxious, and I it wasn't till yesterday when I snapped out of my anxious state, and I thought of making a video about how not to be anxious, and I thought maybe you guys might find this video helpful. So the first thing, I would like to say is that what happens with me is when I get anxious, I get into this pattern. Like I start having thoughts, like negative thoughts, and then one after another. Before I realize, there's a chain of thoughts, and I get into this spiral of negative thinking. And one thing that happens with me is that this burning sensation in my body, like it's like my entire body, my brain, everything's burning. And yeah, that happens with me. So how I solved this problem was that it stopped. I stopped getting anxious, and until like very recently I started to get anxious again, all over again. So I have some practices that I do, like to get out of my anxious state. So maybe you guys might find this helpful, and so the first thing I do is I start consuming lesser media, and like I get out of all this news and stuff. Stop watching news. If you're watching, you can switch to newspaper rather than news channels. We all know how it can be. It includes all spices, mirch masala, and it's completely unnecessary for us, and we don't actually need it. We can actually go for simple news, and that can be via that we can gain via newspaper, or you watch DD News or Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha news channel. So yeah, that. And then another thing is that because it constantly brings us stress. Watching news gives us stress, and we have to decrease the level of stress when we are anxious. And if you're not able to decrease your level of stress and all, you have to ask a lot of questions from yourself, like, oh, how are you feeling, why are you feeling at that moment. We have to detect the source of our anxiety, and sometimes what happens is it's our fears and insecurities that's making us anxious. And later, if you will analyze your thoughts, you will see how irrelevant and unrealistic those thoughts are, and the scenarios that you develop in your brain, how unlikely it is that it would be happening with you, those scenarios and all. So another thing that I do is I go out in nature a lot, because nature is the best therapy, trust me. And yeah, that helps a lot, get things out of your brain, yeah. And then another thing that you can do is spend time with your family members, or whoever who makes you happy, and connect with them, socialize, and those things actually tend to decrease your level of stress and anxiety. Sleep more. Don't underestimate the power of sleeping for 8 hours. And we constantly undermine sleep, because we shouldn't, which we shouldn't. And sleeping is quite essential for our um, for learning, and so start sleeping more, and you'll see the result, you'll see the changes. The better your sleep is, the better your learning efficiency will be next day. You won't feel lethargic as much, and you'll feel more energized. And yeah, and sleeping is quite essential. And my dark circles decreased drastically, my skin started to glow, and it looks quite healthy when I sleep more. So don't look at it right now, because I haven't slept for 2 days. And yeah, but last week I slept nicely, and I saw the changes. And another thing that you can do is start eating healthy and all. Those things are generic tips, but one thing that might help you is meditating. Calm yourself down. When you're anxious, you have to calm yourself down. So to calm yourself down, you can do some practices, like for example meditation. Now meditation can be hard initially, so what you can do is start with breathing practices, which I do all the time. Like we breathe, but we don't breathe the way we are supposed to breathe. Okay, so focus on your breath, and that might do the work. But if it's not, then one thing, there's one practice that I read in psychology, some book, that you have to stiffen your each and every body part. You have to stiffen it, like, and then release, like, so that you know that it's not stiff. And like for example brain or body, you have to make it stiff for a while, and with breath you have to release all the stress that your body parts are holding onto, and that might do the work. And these things I do when my level of stress increases. And increase your sleep, that works like wonder. And one more thing that you can do is do things that makes you happy, like for example hobby. Do whatever you like doing, like for example you like singing, dancing, whatever you like doing, do that. And because when we do something that we like, what happens is that we are at that moment, we are like busy doing that thing. So uh, our mind's not focused anywhere else. It's like at that moment it's focusing on right, that, like, for example your hobby is dancing, so when you're dancing you're actually busy dancing, right? You're not worried about anything else, so that decreases the level of stress and anxiety. And if any of this is not working for you, then what you should do is you should get your check your deficiencies and your level of hormones. And if it might, you might be deficient of or something. Yeah, that's it. And if you like this video and if you found it helpful, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Please saraka whatever. Please I want to reach 1 million likes. So please sarapakara. Yes, yes. Okay, thank you.